Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Doctor Who review with myself, Xray Girl, and Zia. I feel like we're both wearing our sweats right now.
Yes, we are, because that's the
And
only thing that fits me. Oh,
I'm digging it. Wait, what do you mean?
Xray Girl, I gained 10 pounds.
That's
since
all
my
your
boob
boobs.
surgery.
You gain weight when you put more inside the boobs. I don't know if you know the physics of that.
I looked it up, and I can attribute 3 pounds to the boobs, but
Okay,
the
so
other
7 pounds.
everywhere else. So, like, I can't wear any of my pants. I have like 2 pairs of pants I can wear, and everything else is too small. So I went back to the gym today, and it felt really.
But also, are you still swollen? Because when you're swollen post surgery, sometimes that's water weight as well. Not that I'm saying it's all,
Maybe a little bit of water weight that hopefully goes away within the next couple of weeks, but I think most of it is just because I've been eating like a freaking horse.
We can go to Food Addicts Anonymous, and it's not really anonymous since we're talking about this in front of everyone, but we'll pretend it's anonymous when we talk to each other. Maybe we need a rule to not talk about food, which it's going to be really hard knowing us.
No, it's okay. Look, I know before I more or less ate kind of what I wanted. I ate pretty healthy. But ate a lot of candy and things here and there that I wanted. But I was lifting so heavy and I was so active in the gym that it didn't really matter that much. But I think sitting around coupled with eating like a trash can was what really did it.
All right. Chat's just loving you still, clearly.
Thank you guys.
The gym will be exciting. Thick Zia with 3 C's. No, 2 C's, but I'm saying it's 3 C's. I feel like such a girl right now. You're beautiful still. Oh my gosh, you go, girl. You know the typical, right? But actually, I feel that way. So shut up.
No, that's what it is. Like, every time I see people that or like when I talk to people and my friends who are like, oh, I feel so huge, I always start by like, to me, you look beautiful, but then it's also your feelings are totally valid. I understand. Like, I understand why you feel that way. I get it.
And trust me, coming from a fat girl, previous fat girl, I understand completely.
I was going to say, I've never thought you were fat in my life, but I understand what you're saying.
Exactly. Your feelings are valid. I felt fat. I know I wasn't fat. Maybe borderline pre-obese, if that's a thing. Like, it's just, when you get close to that line that's like from above average or to above average, and maybe I am above average. Well, it was above average. Now I'm probably going closer to average, but how's the belly? Huh?
No, I was going to say, how's your workouts? But go on about the belly first.
The belly extends past your jeans. You're like, ugh.
I hate that feeling. That's why I can't even put my jeans on, because if I button them and my belly goes out past my jeans, I'll cry.
Yeah. I don't want to cry, but maybe you should get a period, and then after your period, you'll feel better.
I'm going to weigh myself once a week, and I think I'm going to give myself a month. I think in a month I can lose 5 pounds, and by then I'll be like, you know what? Now I only have 2 to 3 more pounds to lose to be back to where I was. It's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal.
Yep. So everyone in the chat, thank you for being very kind. Do I do Christmas card? Yes, but that's for a husband. So either you're my husband or you don't get Christmas card.
No Christmas card for you, Alexander. Sorry.
No
Christmas card.
Yeah, you have to give me a ring to get that.
A ring.
So don't weigh yourself after a snack stream. Probably
Never. In the morning after I pee and everything and I'm completely naked, that's when I weigh myself.
You'll be proud of me. I went to the movie theaters earlier and I got a small popcorn. I didn't even eat all of it. I was like, I'm feeling full.
Oh my goodness. Listening. Isn't it amazing when you get to a point where you can listen to your body and you're like, oh, I'm full now. I don't want to eat anymore. And then like
my mind's saying eat.
But ignore your mind. Your mind is don't listen to your mind. Your mind is stupid.
It really is. Oh my gosh. But overall, we're good. Clearly, a little upset about the weight gain, but we'll get there.
It'll be okay.
It's been
gonna be okay.
A couple months. So, Saw with the super chat already with the $5 says, Xray, I will say the same thing I tell Zia. Stop it. You two are beautiful. Okay, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep saying it. It one day. What happened to FNT? Were you too sexy for YouTube? Allegedly, the last FNT we had got taken down due to sexuality or nudity. There was no nudity. I can attest to that. So maybe sexual content. It's going to be re-uploaded 7 p.m. on Twitter and Rumble. So
okay,
you can find it over there if you want to see it, because people's YouTube viewings were hurt.
God dang nabbit YouTube. I know what's up. People get so just butthurt about stuff, and they gotta report and do whatever they do. Like big babies.
And yet we get to do Christmas card, and that's fine.
And that's fine. Yeah, somehow. Like I push YouTube to its actual limit, but it's funny. I was talking about this last night. But there's a search, like someone was talking about doing a what is it? I forget what it's called, but it's basically where you are like have a vibrator and you try to, but you only film from like, here up, so you don't see anything, and you try to read a book as it's like stimulating you. And I was like, you know what? That's too much for YouTube. But there is like crazy stuff out. Yeah, like there is crazy stuff out there on YouTube where like people are completely naked, or like I've seen.
I heard yoga. I heard
yoga. Yes, like that exists, and they like just like, I don't know how it flies under the radar, but I just know, because they're not consistent across the board. I just know if I did something just a little bit too far, bam, there goes the channel. You know what I mean? Hopefully it would just be the video and not the channel, but you never know. So it's like, ugh.
Yep.
You gotta be so careful.
So freaking careful. So hopefully that never has to happen again. And hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone's channel. No boobies will be seen today.
No, I'm wearing a very
Zia's
sturdy
boobies
bra.
are gonna
well, cleavage. But it's a very sturdy bra.
All right, let's get into these episodes. Of course, we're going to start with Blink, because I actually didn't know the Utopia was a 3-parter, and we just never thought about it, but we probably could have done a whole episode on Blink, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. I just have to wait 2 weeks now until the finale of this 3-parter.
Yeah, watching the next 2 episodes. I know. When it was to be continued, I was like, oh, God damn it, that's right.
I was so mad. I was going to be like, it's 2 more weeks. I want to know what happens. Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. The first episode, it really was a beautiful episode. It was a contained episode. You could watch it without even knowing much about the Doctor. And I just love how complete each story was, or the person, complete each person's experience was in the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like everyone that was involved. I just find that so wild, like the cyclical nature of time travel, which is very scary. You can't do anything too weird with it. Like in Avengers, I don't understand their timeline anymore. MCU. But this one makes sense. They did it well, beautifully written, and just, I don't know. I never thought angels could be scary until this episode.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know people in the chat have agreed, but it's like they, to me, are the most terrifying, because it's weird the way they do it. It's like, yeah, you still get to live out your life. Like, they don't kill you, but just the whole idea of them and how you can't see them coming. If you're not looking at them, they can move and get you, and how lonely they are. And then they feed off of, all those lost moments. Like, you lose your entire life that you're living now and go back to God only knows when and where. It's just the whole idea of it's so well done.
And each angel, it seems in the story, at least, it sends you to the same particular time, which is wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So like if you go to 1969, it's because you were touched by that one specific angel. It's the writing in this episode is truly excellent.
Like so much story development of each character too. Because I thought the whole brother at the beginning was like, "Oh, this is just showing how, like, creepy he is," or whatever, and he ends up being such an integral part of the story.
And a legitimately good guy. He didn't, he didn't mean to be naked. It was really funny, sort of that interaction.
Awkward.
It was a very awkward
I
interaction.
I can't, like, it's like me going to your house and all of a sudden, like, oh my god, that moment with Reese and that, pretend niece, her pretend niece, Gwen's niece.
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
And you're just
yeah.
like, "Ah!"
Like freaked
I
out.
don't
Everybody
need
was
to see
yelling.
that.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was like, and it was really funny. And it's crazy to see Carrie Mulligan when she was all young with long hair. She was in The Great Gatsby, and she's been in like a bunch of other stuff too. I feel like she sort of kind of got a bigger after that episode. But it's fun
Which
to
one was
see.
Carrie? The,
She she was the
Sally?
main girl. Yeah,
Sally, okay.
Sally. Sally
Okay,
Sparrow.
she was really good.
Great.
What a good, like, character and actress to bring the main focus to life. Because the only other, I guess, females, in Doctor Who that I can think of that rival her was the girl in the fireplace
Uh-huh.
and that tree bug lady when it was the end of the world. Those were,
Oh, I
like,
loved
some
her.
oh, and the maid. In the Victorian era or something like that. Those are just some major female-esque characters that just had complete arcs that were left an impression.
Yes.
So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too that the the character development with her was so good. I think because she was like sort of intelligent and inquisitive and strong-willed without being like
overbearing.
yeah, yeah. That's what it was. She's such a likable,
Mhm.
like clever character. And they did such a good job of writing those kinds of characters during this,
Oh, yes.
era of Doctor Who.
And she didn't have the levity of the professor, but I think or not professor, God, think about the next episode, the doctor, but she had the innocence that I think the doctor could have had if he didn't have the death all around him.
The death and 900 years.
Yes, yeah, that was the doctor in the first, like, 20 years of his life.
Yes, yeah. Oh my god. So, oh my god. For some reason I keep thinking about I'm like keep going back to when she met the detective and that whole relationship
Oh
that
my
was
god,
stolen from
that
them.
never happened. I was so sad because there was such chemistry there out of nowhere, and I just watched them flip back and forth and getting the number, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, this never happens in modern day anymore," and, like, I love
No.
that idea. It's so old school, the being that forward. Now, if people did that, it's like, "Nope, hashtag me too. You're being a creep." Mind you, maybe being in a police garage, well, we'll just say garage. Police garage sounds a little more official. Uh, could have been creepy, but, it worked for them.
Yeah, it ended up being sweet because he wasn't a creepy guy. I feel like things can come off creepy or not based on, the type of energy that you're giving out, not necessarily the setting. Where sometimes people are like, "Oh, it's creepy if you hit on a girl like this. It's creepy if you hit on a girl like this." I think it 100% comes down to what type of person you are and what type of aura you put out there.
Although maybe don't do it at a hospital, emergency room.
That might not be the best
I always
idea.
thought it was weird when people hit on me at work.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, I'm
You're
working.
like, aunt or uncle or parents not doing well? It's just not the time.
No. Yeah, that's a different thing. That's like your family is in the hospital. Okay.
But besides that.
But yeah, that was
Oh,
a really sweet. And so their whole sort of timeline was taken from them. And he married another girl named Sally too. And
it
oh,
was
that was
really,
so cute.
like, adorable, and the same thing with her friend. So when that first happened, and I I thought that the angel was gonna just zap her out of existence. I had no idea about this, like, time travel thing, and when she got the letters, I love that whole unveiling of the mystery. Same thing with the wall and the writing. It just unfolded so beautifully and so sequentially that it just seemed natural Whereas I feel like in a lot of ways, today's writing, it seems so forced, like step by step by step. It's like, okay, this is IKEA furniture. We always got to do this next. And then we always got to do this next. This felt like a magical forest where you never know where you're going to turn.
Right.
And see something beautiful.
That's exactly what it felt like. Oh, I like that analogy. That's so good.
Yeah. And that letter, the pictures, it actually gave me like goosebumps. She'll never see her again. And having to tell her the brother was just, I felt so, I can't imagine being in her shoes. And she was just saying with such a smile.
And like, how do you say, she's like, she needed to come up with something better than she went on a holiday because, I guess obviously once he figured everything out, she could tell him, because they ended up being, sort of.
I like how subtle that was.
It was.
Could have missed it so easily.
So easily. I loved too that he was smart enough to put together the Easter eggs with the doctor.
I know. So it showed that he was smart. And she was smart. That whole conversation thing, another genius moment. The fact that she was having the same conversation with the doctor twice over.
Yeah.
Well, at least on the doctor's part. Same conversation for him. And she had 2 different sets of conversations on her part. With the same video. Like, how? What?
It was crazy. It was so good. Like the way that they tied that all up at the end too. Oh my gosh.
The
with
transcripts
that
he had wrote out about the oh my God. And that's why this episode for me was so good, because that little rap at the end, seeing the doctor and Martha running down the street because she recognized him from the videos. But of course that was past doctor. They hadn't met yet, and he knows all that information. Can you imagine just like filming these videos based on these papers? We're like, oh, now this folder makes sense. We got to do this.
Well, and then but then he did it. Like he did all of it because the doctor knows, and even when he was talking to her, and this is so great by the doctors, he's like, okay, clearly she knows me, but I don't know her. So I've met her at some point. So everything's all out of time for him because a future him had like
talking to past her.
Yeah, like the whole thing is crazy. So she knew who he was, but he didn't know who she was yet. But he found out who she was in that moment, so that in the future, when he got sent back, he would know who she is and have all of this stuff to be able. It's absolutely insane.
Yup, and I guess because it's a time loop, and because of the events that happened, who actually came up with the idea of the angels looking at each other in the end?
It seemed like the doctor.
Or was it in the notes?
Maybe. That's a good question. But it seemed like there wasn't anything in the notes about it, because it seemed like I don't know.
There was the transcripts, and there was a letter from letters and pictures from Kathy. And who knows? And that's why that's the only thing that I can think of time-wise that's like, I wonder if this happened. But it doesn't really matter because it's a closed loop. It'll always happen that way as long as everyone does what they're supposed to.
Right.
In the time of need, which is insane. Plus, like the people who went back in time, they all had great moments in their lives still, even though they got sent back to some weird time. They all got married. They all still had kids. All had fruitful lives. And I think it's so beautifully written. And we don't get anything like this at all. We get things like freaking, oh God, Loki.
Well, all we get is like, can you believe that white people did all of these horrible things? And did you know that men can be pregnant? And you're just like, oh, all right, this was
the
fun.
Message.
It is, yeah. It's always about the message. It's like,
I don't. Like, why can't you tell a good story like this?
Craft me a good story that makes me feel things, damn it.
I know. So
and they did more for women and people of color then than they're doing now, because it's like they cast these really, really great dynamic characters like Sally Sparrow and oh my God. What's
Kathy
wrong with me?
Spear something.
No, oh my God,
The
the
girl in the
doctor's
fireplace.
no, the doctor's a companion right now. Martha
Martha.
Jones. Yeah, and
Oh,
characters like Martha Jones, like these very like intelligent, smart, charismatic sort of characters, but of course they're flawed because every human is flawed. And it just makes sense with like, yeah, she's a doctor, she's a human doctor who's been alive for 22 years or 23 years, as opposed to a doctor, the Time Lord, who's been traveling through space and time for 900 years and has seen some shit and is a literal genius. Like, of course, she's not going to be on the same level as him, but that doesn't mean that she's a lesser character. They just did such a good job with it that
yep.
you just don't get that now.
And it's very balanced characters in this episode too. You got like the young handsome police guy, young innocent Sally with her best friend who's wants to do good by her, and the brother who's kind of goofy and works in a DVD shop. I would totally love to work at a DVD shop and
how cool would that be?
Just watch movies all day. And even that other guy who was there, that kind of like gruff DVD guy that was watching the movies, like they all had a meaning to be in this episode, and they weren't just there just for laughs, for comedic timing or anything like that. They were all important to the story.
Yes, he was there because when he said go to the police, why don't they ever go to the police? And so of course that triggers Sally to then go to the police.
Which, oh my God, that scene with the angels at the police station.
Oh, how creepy was that? God, they're so creepy.
The fact that the angels got into the police station to drag the TARDIS away, and they explained it as they want to eat the energy of the
TARDIS. Yep.
And that would feed them for like ever.
Well, and then it would also cause, what was it going to cause?
Like a rip in time and space.
A rip in time and space. Like, holy moly. It was and the story of the Weeping Angels to begin with is already so freaking good. The way that they're the loneliest because they can't even look at each other. They can never be seen, or they turn to stone. So if they look at each other, they each turn to stone. Like they
are perpetually frozen.
Perpetually frozen, which is how he tricked them into obviously doing that to each other. But it's just they can't, chance seeing each other, so they're always like this. But it's just the whole idea of them as a villain is wildly creative.
Although, okay, I just thought of one possible flaw about them in that room, because it's in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
If that light goes out, they can
That's a good point. If the light goes out, you're right, because they won't be able to see each other anymore. And at some point, that bulb is going to burn out.
At some point.
God. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, you're absolutely right.
So, I mean, who knows? In the future, they're going to get out of that cellar at some point.
The Weeping Angels will return.
Well, I'm sure they do. They have to. That was like one of the best aliens that we've met.
Yeah, they're a being, I guess, like you said, since the beginning of time, right? Like they're as old as time.
Mm-hmm. So they have to be able to come back at some point. Also, that guy, Lawrence, when he was looking at that one angel, and he did that look away, look back, and she was almost on him. I was just like,
terrifying. Also, the fact that he like wasn't blinking in that scene was so good because a long time to not blink. I was so impressed. I feel like even if I was terrified, I don't know if I'd be able to not blink. You know what I'm saying? But because it's such an innate thing that we have to do. But they created so much tension in that moment. That of her, like him staring at the angel and her off looking. And I was like, oh my God, would you hurry the fuck up, please? He is up there by himself and he can't even blink. What if he has to blink? I've seen the episode.
Well, and then that moment when Kathy, I have to go back and watch Kathy's face when she got caught by that angel. Because did she blink? I don't know. I just have to see if
she wouldn't know.
It's so crazy. What great writing. What a good story. How creepy of a person, alien, being.
That's good.
And it's not even like it's not that evil in the grand scheme of all
Right.
the aliens. Like the
It's
Slitheen were evil.
Yeah, they were like actually killing people. The Weeping
Yes.
Angels weren't actually like they were just kind of stealing time and stealing lives. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Russ says the Weeping Angels are a great enemy, probably the first one in New Who. Oh, so these weren't any there weren't any in Old Who.
I guess
Hmm.
not. So this is a new villain that is fantastic.
Good job, Russell. I think Russell TV Davies was the one that wrote this episode, if I remember correctly. He did good on that because this was ingenious.
So good. It was just everything ties up. And I'm like trying to think of little holes in the story and I can't find them. They did such a good job. They were new.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The angels are the most scary ones. I don't know.
They
Okay,
freak me
wait.
out.
Is Daleks scarier than angels? I don't know. I'll actually put that in a poll. Are the Dalek, which are scarier? Daleks, weeping. I don't know which one I would think. What would I think? Okay, what about you? What do you think is scarier?
I always said the Weeping Angels. That being said, the fact that they just send you back to a different time and you still get to live a life, does somehow make them a little less. It makes it less horrible, but it doesn't make them less scary in a way. It's weird.
I would not want to be sent back to like the 1800s.
No, that would
Even
suck.
1950s. I could maybe do it the most 1990, 1980. But the idea that like the detective where he knows exactly the person who he has been pining for all his life lives
Mhm.
growing up, can't say anything because that'll
And
ruin things.
yeah, he can't say anything, and I think that ooh, going back to the 90s or 80s would actually be kind of awesome because you would have the knowledge of the future. You would know all the stocks and things to invest
Yep.
in. So you
There's
could
that too.
be like wildly wealthy. That would be awesome.
Zia's like entrepreneurial mind is working on.
I was like, actually, send me back to the 90s. Yeah, let's do this again. Why not?
I would the stocks and then also copyright certain products that might do well in the future.
Yep.
But
Yep.
then
Yep.
again,
Yep.
that's the butterfly effect. Would that work very well? Probably not. You probably
Yeah.
screw some things up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the thing. I feel like you could invest in stocks pretty you know what I mean? Like that's pretty like what consequence would that? I mean, I
Yeah.
guess anything could have a consequence, but still.
Crypto and GameStop, here we go.
Yeah, Dogecoin.
And then right before it crashes that first time, the crypto, I mean.
Yes, yes, get out.
It's going up apparently. I don't know. I'm not
Is it
following it
going
as
up?
well as I used to back in the day. So yeah. Apple stocks, Microsoft stocks, those types of
Google
things.
probably, Google stock, like all
Uh-huh,
that stuff.
uh-huh. Tesla,
Yep.
Amazon.
Yep.
Mhm, mhm. So, right, and then we know right when the vid happens, get out.
Get out. Get out. Yeah, sell it all and just be filthy rich and like go off into the countryside and buy yourself a big house. I'd love it.
Mhm. So, all of us are just telling what we do. Get
Yes. Yes.
Bitcoins. Yeah, buy all the Bitcoins, literally all the Bitcoins. So, anywho, back to the episode.
Back to who?
I'm just trying to think, is there anything else that like really like stood out to me? The 17 DVDs were like insane. Also, because he went back in time and became a DVD guy. Ugh,
Yes,
that's
that's
why he
right.
made them.
That's why he made and
Another little part of the story.
so artfully put in there and so well done that like if he hadn't mentioned going to the police, she wouldn't have gone back to meet the detective and he wouldn't have been sent back to that specific time to be able to talk to her and do all of those. Like it is just
On this
insane.
and I think that the writing where they had him die on the day that he met her seem so much more impactful.
So much more.
And that scene change when he's like, at the end of the rainfall, I'm supposed to die. And that scene change where she's looking out at the rain and then all of a sudden the hospital room is bright, sunny, shiny, and that bed is empty. I was just thinking, oh my God. What an emotional roller coaster for a day for her.
It was. That's all in one day.
One day. This cute guy ends up dying in front of you. Well, maybe not in front of her, but around her.
Well, it seems she probably was there. Like, I bet you they didn't show it, but I would imagine she would have, held his hand through it. I would hope.
But I think it was more impactful the way they did that scene change. Because I don't think we knew him well enough to watch him die and have her have that emotional reaction. It was more than enough just seeing her in that moment, like, wow, it's just as he said.
No, I agree. They did it perfectly.
Impactful death without actually having a death on screen. What? I never thought I'd say that.
No, but it did. You're right. It worked out so well. They wrote that and shot that so beautifully.
Huh. They did so good. Gosh. Is there anything else you could think about this? Oh, I like how he said the timey-wimey detector. The timey-wimey wibbly-wobbly things.
The timey-wimey wibbly-wobbly bits. That's like on t-shirts and all kinds. Like, that's such an iconic saying when he talks about the timey-wimey.
Is it? I love it. Yes. I love it. It's so the doctor too, to just not explain it to its fullest extent. And sometimes when he explains things, he just uses these words. I'm like, huh? But it seems so cute.
But that it was perfect. It was in layman's terms. Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. And you're like, okay, great.
And him saying that whole don't blink, don't even move, don't look away, or all those things. I don't remember the words. Y'all in chat probably know it like perfectly. And having that repeat, like 3 times, it's probably one of the most iconic lines of the Doctor. Right?
Don't move. Don't even blink. Yeah, it is very iconic, and also just again very like you said, is very impactful. It's the way he says it. You believe him, and it scares you.
Yeah. Oh my God, psychotic mongoose. I did laugh when Martha was annoyed at having to work in a shop.
Yeah, that was so funny.
That happens all the time. Anytime they get stuck, the companion has to do some weird menial job that's pretty demeaning in a sense, like a cafeteria lady, a maid.
Poor Martha. She's like, now I have to take care of you because the doctor doesn't have skill. It's funny how he can be such a genius, but when it comes down to basic life skills of survival in like a capitalist society, he can't do that.
He doesn't know how to be a good member to just work at a job. What's work? He gets to just fly around in time, experiencing things, fixing things, maybe making a mess sometimes, but it's well enough.
He makes a lot of a mess a lot of the time, but yes.
Andrew Matthews for 2 British pounds says, so Blink or League of Magical Ends? Society of Magical Ends? Andrew, how dare you get that wrong? No, Blink obviously is so much better. I mean, the episode is 45 minutes or something like that. And it was so much more impactful than Society of Magical Black people are like can ever impart on you. Like this writing is so much more carefully thought out, whereas in American society, they're like, white people are the scariest things. They could have hit the mark with that movie if they leaned further into the parody aspect, but they didn't. And it looks like they're making fun of so many different people, including themselves, in a bad way. It could have been good.
I didn't see it, but
I wouldn't watch it.
That sounds about right. What you're summing up. I'm like, that's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, there's no point in going to a movie that you don't care about, because I mean, I watched Godzilla X Kong, and I watched the one before that, which I don't think it was that bad, but this one was just the whole idea of the girl is the key to everything was so true in this one.
It was. This one, it actually worked out, but it worked out well and for good reason.
Yeah, it's not just I'm a girl, I'm awesome. No, she's a girl that found herself in the wrong place at the right time and
she just happens to be clever and inquisitive.
And she, I guess, started all of it, if you want to call it that, maybe, and gave herself all the clues, was smart enough to do the clues without, being like, I'm the best. And she needed Lawrence, the brother, in order to do things. Without him, would they have survived?
No, they wouldn't have. They needed to work together. They needed each other. And they didn't, make him out to be some at first, introduction, he seems like he's some kind of a doofy moronic sort of dude. But as you get to know him, you realize he also isn't. He's very clever.
He's very smart. The conspiracy of the DVDs. Holy crap.
Who would figure that out? Who figures that out? And then he was the one that did the transcript because he had the wherewithal to be like, oh my God, I need to write in your answers. And he knew shorthand.
So, it's just beautifully done. And you're welcome, Andrew, for that. Oh gosh. So yeah. Anything else you want to chat about with this episode? If not,
I don't think so. I know we hit everything. We did talk a lot about this episode. It's just so good, but I don't think so.
I want more things like this. I want more. And the subtleties in this episode is what made it for me. Like that, like you said, that part where Sally and Lawrence had that exchange where he's like, the stuff is stopping you from like moving forward, essentially. And they obviously have feelings for each other, but she can't get out of her own head.
And I like at the end when it finally hits her. Okay, this is where it ends. This is what I was meant to do. I have to give him this. And then she takes his hand. I loved that.
That was just like, all right, I'm done doing the things I need to, and I can just move forward with my life just like my friends did.
Yep.
When they did their things. Can you imagine telling your grandson, you need to go here at this time on this date and give this letter to this girl with this name? I'd be like, Grandma, you're crazy.
Yeah, on this day and this time. But he actually did it. He's like, I made a promise to my grandma. And then he did. It's just, all of it was so good.
So, yeah. You can always check the VODs. Tricky. When I watched the episode, this was my face the entire time. Variations, but
so good. I have to grab a sweater. I am freezing.
No freaking worries. But yeah, go grab a sweater. I will continue chatting with chat here.
Quick. I'll be very quick.
No worries. Pants? I'm wearing pants. Zia's wearing pants too. Is that why you're like, no? Oh, Klisu. Chair cameo. I love that the chair still has one eye. Here, we're gonna zoom in. And I also am a little off center, but that's okay. Let's see here. Aw, thank you, LDT. I have the best reactions, but it's only because I'm expressive. Tricky says Zia's freezing and it's 82 Fahrenheit here right now. Well, someone's lucky. I'm freezing. Absolutely freezing. I wish I was warmer. I want it to be 22 degrees outside. That's perfect.
What is that in Fahrenheit?
22 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. 71.6.
Ooh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's nice. That is a good temperature. I might want to add that it's 70 degrees in my house right now and I'm still cold. So
are you serious?
I'm ridiculous. I realize that.
19 Celsius to Fahrenheit. It's 66 in my house.
Oh my God, that's so cold.
I know. So I need to, that's why I'm wearing a sweater today. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when it's cold in the house. girls wore more clothes so you don't see the boobas. So I blame my hubby all the time.
Exactly. You want us to walk around naked, you make the house warm.
Absolutely. Andrew Matthews, really? 2 British pounds. Is the new toilet installed yet? Last I checked, it wasn't. When I left the house to go see the movie, they were putting the bowl in, but they might not have put the tank in yet. We're getting like this very bougie bidet toilet.
Ooh.
And it is absolutely very sexy. It's a heated toilet seat. Has the spray, has the for boys and girls, and then the fan dryer for your fanny.
Yeah, the whole area. That sounds lovely.
I've always wanted this toilet. Okay, this is a very big splurge.
I get it. That sounds very exciting.
Hey, and that's what brand? I don't remember. It's Costco. We bought it from Costco.
Nice.
So, yeah, I hope it's installed soon. I don't like sharing my bathroom. I want Mark to stay downstairs. He gets the nice new bathroom, which is bad because I want the new bathroom.
Dude, there's nothing more exciting than new bathrooms. When you buy an older house and you're using old bathrooms, like I miss my apartment bathroom because it was a brand new apartment. It was so nice and new, and I'm just like, oh, that's right.
See, I don't mind the bathroom that we have upstairs. It's just I want the toilet upgraded. So I think when my brother comes up next year, I'll get him to install just a new toilet. It's not going to be a fancy bidet because you need electrical added.
Oh, it's like a whole thing.
If you do the heated water, which I
yeah, you don't want cold water hitting you.
I want to treat my butt really nicely.
No, you don't want to hit your butt with cold water. That's terrible.
It's like, I'm awake. Happens sometimes in the morning, okay?
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh my God. All right, so let's get into the next episode, which of course we start with how Torchwood ended. I love that, by the way.
Yes, so that's why we had to watch Torchwood before we got to that episode, which makes sense now. And because I didn't watch them together last time I watched them. I watched all of Doctor Who first, and then afterwards watched Torchwood. So that was like Torchwood came later, and I never really put those two together. So it was such a great continuation from the two.
And the crazy part is I loved Green Arrow, and there's a couple other shows that like kind of had a 3-part or 4-part, depending on how many different shows they were linking together, where one episode is on Green Arrow, one episode's on Flash, one episode's on the whatever else, Supergirl. And it's just like, it's almost like the Avengers coming together, but it's the Doctor Who universe. And perfect. Absolutely perfect. Jack running up to the TARDIS with his little backpack.
Yes, screaming, Doctor!
He's able to just jump on the TARDIS and travel through time. And the whole explanation on why the TARDIS did that was, it felt perfect.
Yep. And finding out why the Doctor left him, because it's just, he's wrong to the Doctor and to the TARDIS.
He's an anomaly, and they have a huge aversion to time anomalies.
Yep, which makes sense.
By the way, I guess now we know why he is the way he is. I love that explanation too. Like, it never dawned on me whatsoever that Rose was the reason.
Wait, really?
Didn't she bring Jack? Like, they said Rose was the one that did the whole thing to Jack. Yeah, and then that he just keeps doing that again and again because of maybe the energy in her. And then when he was like, well, let's go get Rose, and he's like, Rose, well, she died for one on the manifest, but she got sent to the parallel planet and they can't reach her.
Yep, they can't get her back, which is interesting because then that's when the Doctor is asking Jack, like, hey, do you want to die? And it seems like Jack maybe thought he wanted to, but on, thinking about it on second thought and sort of living his life more, it seems like maybe he doesn't want to.
I think humans just generally don't want to die. There's things that you'll miss if you do. They'll get FOMO thinking that you're dead.
Yeah. Which is funny because it won't matter because you're dead. So of course you won't be missing out on anything. But it's hard to fathom not existing, I think is the thing. Because even before we existed, we weren't conscious of it. So the only thing we can fathom is existing and having a consciousness because that's all we've known. So when that goes away, it's hard to think about that. You know what I mean?
Wrap your head around the life changing that insanely, which it is, like not being there anymore. What a sad idea. Death sucks.
Yeah, no, I don't want. If I could choose to live forever, I totally would.
Yeah.
So at least a very long time.
We see there was 100 trillion years. I got really creeped out when the doctor was like, we need to turn back. I'm just thinking, I've never seen him scared like this about time traveling.
The way he said that, he's like, we should go. But then I love that he gets that smile on his face and he's
like, we're going outside.
Out. Yeah, he's like, we're going anyway.
Sorry, wrong go. I was thinking the wrong.
We're thinking about going out there.
Yes, which the cannibal human future kinds, creepy. I love how they're like super early civilization with their sticks and teeth all sharp and they're just humans in my opinion, but
they are just humans. It's almost like humans that have been what's the opposite of evolving? Devolving.
Devolved.
My brain could
They've gone feral.
Yeah, they're like humans that have devolved and gone feral. Exactly.
So it was really creepy to see that. And I love how the doctor's so impressed that like humans, even though that this is 100 trillion years in the future, you guys keep the same shape.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I wonder if that's going to be the case. Like we've looked more or less the same for a while. I do think that humans it seems like over time, and I don't know if that's just the way we see it because we're living in this time. It kind of feels like humans have become more attractive over time.
Depends on your definition of attractive. Like, I guess the people have gotten taller.
People have gotten taller, facial features have gotten more delicate and more symmetrical. I don't know. I just feel like you look at people from back in the day, like old photos or when you see what they actually look like. And I don't know if there maybe were attractive people, you just didn't see them, but it kind of feels that way.
With technology.
We did. But also I just think that and I'm not talking about plastic surgery. I'm talking about naturally.
Also, the running water, cleanliness has improved. So that's also helped too.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. As long as we don't become like the stretched out, what's her face? Skin.
Cassandra.
Spray me.
Moisturize me.
Then I think we're okay. That was a little odd, believable, but odd. I've strived to become skinny, so I've literally, California, there's some strange humans out there. I could see some people doing that.
Look, some people could think that that's very attractive. I've seen some very thin people that do it on purpose, and you're just like, really? Okay.
Whatever makes you happy, Yeah,
enjoy it.
But when they got there and you see the professor, you see Chanto, and I'm just like, oh, I'm feeling Star Trek vibes a bit.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see Star Trek vibes a bit. And I like the little things that they threw again, little like things that they threw into this episode where Chanto says at the, it's rude. So whenever she says things, she always says, Chen, how are you doing though? Yeah. And like, I don't know. I just thought that was so cute and such like an interesting little thing to add into, because we're talking about being billions of years in the future, and I just thought that was a really fun thing that they put in, and her and Martha sort of bonding and how Martha got her to, like, it was like swearing for her to not say Chen and Tho, to start and end her sentences.
She goes, indeed.
Yeah, like giggling. It was so cute.
My God. It just shows, I guess, her she's such a polite being. She doesn't do all the bad things. She's very smart, clearly. And that is great character development without saying she's an innocent, smart alien that can do whatever she wants if she puts her mind to it.
Right. And she, didn't end up saving the day, but she did sacrifice herself to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Blink.
And we already talked about it. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know.
We will probably refer to Blink for a very long time, though, to be honest.
It's going to come back up around. Yeah.
Yep. And the whole Utopia thing was quite interesting. It's like you're always trying to reach for the next best thing out there. And with Earth, I guess, dying and the stars dying and being dark in the sky, like end of times, is that something that's real? We never really got the answer to that, but the humans were sent somewhere.
Yeah. They went off to Utopia, whatever that is, which could have been basically, like you said, it could have been nothing or it could have been everything. What I also found interesting with this episode is when the doctor got, changed himself into a human and put his Time Lord essence into that pocket watch. He's the sound of drums and the last of Time Lords are so good, Tricky, so good.
See, I didn't know what this was when he was saying the sound of the drums, the last of Time Lords. When he was saying that drum stuff, and I was thinking, is he one of the future kind? Great redirection on their part.
So good, so good.
Mm-hmm.
But what I thought was so weird though was that he, when the doctor became human and put his Time Lord into the watch, he still retained a lot of what made him the doctor. Like, yes, he became a human and sort of a different person, but he was still more or less the doctor kind of himself. What I found interesting is this with the master, which I know you're not familiar with the master, but it's I can't wait for you to see more of that. But anyway, with the master, is he's a complete fucking psychopath, right? That's what we seem to gather from it. But interestingly, him as a human seemed to be very, kind and helpful, and he was trying to save humans, which it's interesting how different he was, his human counterpart to his doctor. So, or I mean, his Time Lord self.
Well, maybe he could program it into his personality, but clearly he felt ill will towards Chanto. During all that, so who knows? Maybe there'll be more development on how the timepieces work. But before that, Jason Webster for 5 Australians says, hi to the warmly generous and genial Xray Girl and extroverted Zia. I hope each has enjoyed a great start to the new week. I definitely have. Happy Easter Monday to those who celebrate.
Oh, yes.
It is technically not a holiday, statutory holiday, but, I consider it still a holiday. Did you eat Cadbury eggs this weekend?
I didn't have Cadbury eggs this weekend, but we made each other Easter baskets, Nick and I. And
peanut butter cup?
It's peanut butter and marshmallow.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I want that in my mouth.
I have not tried it yet. I also have a coconut patty.
Oh my God.
I have a chocolate bunny. He made the world's best Easter basket for me.
I'm drooling.
Like the world's best Easter basket. It's so good.
We said we weren't going to talk about food, and we are, and I'm loving it.
So sorry. I'm going to take a bite of this chocolate bunny too. Please don't judge me, everyone.
Oh my God, I hate you. Okay, well, I'm going to move on.
So
anyway, yeah, the master. Just the names in itself kind of denotes very personal traits. Of course, this was after we found out who the master was. So we have the doctor, who doctors are helpful people usually. Masters, not so much. Evil. And that whole unveiling of that watch, I still was a little confused. I was like, is he actually a Time Lord? Or is this just he found this? Insane. What? There's another Time Lord? And I'm thinking, he is not the last one in the world. He's going to find someone to just be the same species. That's awesome. That's cool.
But did you notice that the doctor was not excited about the prospect of there possibly being another Time Lord?
See, and then I noticed that. So it's just like, what is happening? I wonder. Well, we might find out in the next episodes, but I wonder if it's either because he knows of an evil version or he's not special anymore. What do you think? Well, you might know.
I don't want to say anything because, as
Okay.
Trippy says, there's a backstory.
Ah. Okay. 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 I hate this. I can't wait for it to get the backstory.
It's about the master.
Oh, and the face of Bo. Yes, which I actually forgot what the face of Bo said when Martha brought it up again. What was it? The you are not alone. And I'm like, we've been this is better than Bad Wolf because of course I never really saw the whole Bad Wolf thing until they pointed out, look at this on the TARDIS. Whereas we got the warning from Bo. The pocket watch kind of was a little hint at it when people said we have to watch Torchwood prior to this. It's like, holy crap.
It's like a perfect storm of everything coming together.
It's a freaking amazing. Yeah. Absolutely a freaking amazing. So it's more carefully done, I think, even than Bad Wolf, which wild. Never thought I'd say that.
Nope, I agree.
What else happened in this episode that was really good? The banter between Jack and the doctor. They are so freaking hilarious.
The doctor constantly chastising Jack for hitting on everyone was hilarious.
Sorry, when he was getting resuscitated by Martha, and then he wakes up, and then he does this to her chat. I'm like, Jack, really?
Yes, and I love how also the second time he's like, was someone just kissing me?
Yeah, Biggie.
It was so funny. So funny.
And then they go right to Jack's face, and you just like, huh? Oh, yeah, he would do that.
Of course he would.
And he hits on everyone. The guy in the space station, the alien. And I love how the alien girl, Chanto, was like, oh, I like this. I won't protest against this.
Yeah, Chan, I do not protest though.
And it's like, we'll talk later.
Yes, 100%. She was like, I would do it, even though
I'll do it now.
she was basically the master's version of his companion. Yeah, and she was in love with him.
Well, I mean, Jack didn't pull any stops for Rose.
True.
He was, all up in that, or trying to get up in that.
He was trying to get up in that, but he was trying to. But this is another episode that illustrated how the feelings that the doctor had for Rose were real. Like when he was talking, when Martha was talking about, oh, is that just what happens?
Oh my God.
Leave us behind, and Jack goes, not if you're blonde, and she goes, oh, she was blonde. So
I'm so jealous.
And it was clearly something there, because even Jack knew, that if Rose hadn't been stuck in that parallel universe, the doctor never would have left her.
Oh, absolutely. It was made super clear when they did that first kind of date sort of on the tower with the dancing, and he was pulling up all the stops, and the doctor just swept on in and took her away.
Yep. He's like, nope, mine.
Yeah, Lynn, you're back. Thank you, Arudai, for telling me that she was blocked, which was unfortunate. So apologies. Jason Webster for 5 Australians says, Zia, I like a girl who knows how to celebrate Easter, especially with Swiss or Belgian chocolate, Easter eggs, and hot cross buns. I've never had a hot cross bun. What is a hot cross bun?
They're like, I don't know if I've ever had one either, but I feel like I might have tried one once. A hot cross bun is kind of I think it's slightly sweet bread bun, and it has raisins, dried fruit in it, and then they put a little icing and a cross over the top.
Okay, I just Googled it. I've never had one either. I don't know if I'd want to eat one, to be honest.
I remember liking it. But you know what? I know what else I had.
If I'm going to eat bread, it's going to be pizza.
I like where your head's at.
So, pizza.
Russ and
Carbs.
Psychotic Mongoose, who are, I know, I love we're talking, and Disparu. Oh my God, you guys, all three of you, that was so British, it was hysterical.
I know,
They
all the
said
British.
they're nice.
I'm amazed you don't have them. They're everywhere here. Next time I'm in the UK, I will try a hot cross bun because I did the scone with the cottage cheese or the scone with the cottage and jam.
Ooh,
Clotted,
like clotted
not
cream.
cottage.
Yes.
Clotted cream. So good. Yeah, I'll break keto for this bad boy, but I'll do it in the UK, not for anywhere else.
Not for
Hell
just at home, not for stinky Canadian hot cross buns.
Mm-hmm. They're around on Easter. They're seasonal.
Yeah.
Oh,
We do. I've seen them around here, and that's why I'm pretty sure I've tried them because we have this brand Entenmann's that does like boxed baked goods. So they have like boxed donuts, boxed cakes, and things like that. And they're really good, like for packaged boxed cake, really fucking good. I love Entenmann's, but they do every Easter. They put out a hot cross bun.
I want to try them in the UK. It'll taste better than Canada. At least that's my assumption. Who knows? Oh, now I'm drooling. You guys made me drool. Started with you, Zia. I blame you.
I'm so sorry. I know. We were like, we have to stop talking about food. And then
what did we do?
And then we talk about food.
Oh, gosh. All right. So where are we now? We see them down there. I love the mystery about Jack kind of being unveiled with the plugging of the stories, like the missing chunks from each other. Because I honestly, it feels like it's been a while since I've thought of how Jack ended up where he was. We never found out until this moment.
Yes. Yep. This is how we find out how he ends up. So he got sent back to the 1800s, and that was it 1860 or 1890?
Just 1800s.
1800s. I couldn't remember exactly. And then he just lived out his time until 2004 or 2005.
Yeah. Just to catch up with the doctor with the doctor's hand. Also weird and creepy. And I love that it was the doctor's hand. That was one thing that was spoiled for me because I actually didn't remember it was the doctor's hand.
Yes. That I always remember that it was the doctor's hand because it was when it got cut off and had to get regenerated. And I loved Martha's reaction to that too. It was so funny.
It's just I was just like, that's your hand? What? And that was like, from
grew a hand?
That was his tenant's hand too, right?
Yeah, it was when he regenerated. His hand got cut off in the sword fight with I forgot what alien it was. It was the Christmas special. And he had just enough like regeneration energy left to reproduce the hand.
Yeah. Otherwise, he'd be like Mark the Cyborg.
Yes.
Who knows if he could get all the companions he did
with just one hand. The Sycorax. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn.
That's what it was.
What a great like tie-in of the story and how the hand is the doctor detector.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like how. Oh wait, go ahead.
No, yeah, he saw it go on and he immediately knew, and then he just Gwen is like, "Where did you?" He just leaves Gwen. I love that.
And then you hear that whatever the noise of the TARDIS, and then you're just like, "Well, okay." So we know he returns because there's a season 2. We just have to know how he returns,
which we will find out.
We will find out. I want to know how and what that evil master guy does when he takes the TARDIS, because it felt so invasive watching him go into the TARDIS and leave them behind.
Right.
Like we've never seen anyone be able to do that ever. People literally have taken the TARDIS to all, like the angels, for example. They didn't do anything with the TARDIS. Well, they didn't get time, apparently, allegedly. But to see another Time Lord that was that mean, that has that technology, is just, oh my God. And that's why I think that he's worse than the Daleks.
The Master?
Yes. In my opinion. So, and he's the person that's following up, I believe the person that's following up with Martha's mom. You're just sitting there quiet. I hate this.
I know. I'm so sorry. I don't want to say anything.
Because you said your voice sounds familiar. And I'm like, where else has she met this guy? Did she meet him at that party at the museum? I don't remember. I have to like watch that episode again because I don't know why she thinks it's familiar. Did she meet him? She probably met him, but I don't know. Ah!
I know, like, Desperate. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Stop asking me questions you don't want the answer to. I know. I'm just speaking out loud, okay?
I'm just sitting here like,
oh, God. Arudai member for 3 months says Xray Girl makes the best sound effects. Also, enjoy the nerdy chat. Thank you, Arudai. Cheers. What noises? How does it?
I don't know. It's hard to make.
Give me your best TARDIS sound. Like, I don't know how else to do the cranking noise.
It's hard. Yeah, no, like I would do like, nope, that sounds like a bird.
Sounds
like a bird dying. I don't know. It's a hard sound to make.
And like the key should have worked when the doctor was trying to put the key in. That lock is too good.
The master did something to it. He did like a special kind of lock from the inside so the doctor couldn't get in there. And you could see when the doctor's face, he resigns himself to losing his TARDIS. And I don't remember exactly if he did something that he has like a trick up his sleeve. I guess we'll have to find out next week.
Who knows? I mean, 100 trillion years in the future, what trick can you have up your sleeve? They're going to make some creative way to make it happen. I know. But at this point, I don't understand how it's going to work. And I love that these episodes, they're probably built backwards from this is the end. This is how I want it to do. Like this, and this to have this events happen. Kind of like Dirk Gently, the something like he's a paranormal detective. What's his title? Holistic Detective Agency. Yeah, it's a very rather weird show, but I quite enjoy it. Andrew Matthews for £2 says, "Do you think spoiling Blink would have ruined it?" You guys spammed the lines of Blink forever to me. I just never understood it. I have self-control to hold myself back from researching, luckily enough.
I'm impressed.
No.
I do not. I will look things up. It's bad.
I'm very tempted to know what's going to happen in 2 weeks, but I think that the idea of binge versus weekly model, like look at us. We could have watched a whole season of Doctor Who for each of these episodes, but we don't because I think it's more fun to talk about each episode in depth, like you would in real life.
Yes. Yeah. If you're watching it episodically. Yeah.
Would have done like, well, I mean, it would have been Torchwood, then Doctor Who, then Torchwood and Doctor Who, of course. We did it a little differently, but it makes it feel like we are back in those time periods and enjoying them at the best that we could. And yes, weekly is more fun. Most people like weekly, right?
That's what it seems like. Because, well, I've done binge show because I used to review stuff for AfterBuzz, and we do a lot of shows. And I've done weekly and I've done binge, and binge is fun, but it's over very quickly. And you do have to try to cram in like 4 or 5 episodes into a 1-hour show, which makes it tough.
And you forget so much that happens. I mean, of course, you're going to remember the main plot points, but then us talking about like these certain lines, the way they unveiled things, the way they, the sequence of events. I feel like it gives it more power. And the fact that we keep talking and talking and talking about it in this way, we don't forget the little details as much.
No, I agree. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, it has more cultural impact.
Agreed.
Weekly is good. Much better than the binge model. Everyone except Jeremy Griggs knows this.
Who's Jeremy Griggs?
Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy. There's like an infamous fight about the weekly and binge model between Jeremy and like FNT. Every time they get into that, I get a little sick because I got sun sickness during that time.
Oh, yeah.
And it hit me, and I was just like, oh, shut up. Anytime it's brought up, it brings like a little twinge of tummy aches. So
No. Okay. We won't talk about it.
No, it's not bad. I just anytime they bring it up, it's like PTSD. If I bring it up, it's not so bad.
Right.
Like, just don't yell, please. Don't yell. Oh no. Oh gosh. So yeah, everyone seems to think the weekly is better. Sergey Barengard for 5 Canadian just sends a coffee emote.
Ooh.
I feel like I need that. I'm feeling a little tired today.
Mm.
You don't drink coffee. No, you do. You do.
I do. Just in the morning. I love coffee. It makes me so happy.
Me too. I had coffee, and I've started drinking this brand Celsius sometimes for workouts.
I've heard of those.
So freaking delicious. It's like having pop in the morning. It's great. You shouldn't have pop in the morning, but I do.
Whatever. It's for energy for working out. Exactly. I'm very interested in seeing what the professor ends up doing in these next episodes, because this is actually a villain that rivals the Doctor since he is a Time Lord. And to see the Doctor so dejected when he has to call the Master by his real name was just so sad and demoralizing for him. Because he knows who he is. And
yeah,
that means it's not good.
It is not good at all, because this is probably the one guy he wished that died during the Dalek Wars, the end of the Time Lords. But of course, he probably isn't there.
Oh, there's so much good backstory.
God. And just poor Martha having to meet Jack and learning about more stuff about Rose. That was good. Because
there's something good with Martha too. God damn it.
That conversation between Jack and the Doctor when Jack's in the STET radiation room, the perfect man for the job, and you could just see her face like, huh? And then of course the Master was having his like, these words sound so familiar. Why is my head hurting? And then poor Chanto is like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
It was just like the impact of that conversation was, of course, threefold. I thought that was wild. Plus, I loved when Jack stripped, and he's like, you don't have to do that. And she's like, but I want to look good. And I do look good. And I was just like, yes, you do.
I gotta say, the suspenders with a white t-shirt it's a good look.
It is a great look. It's a classic look. And John Barrowman, he has the ability to look like he's in the modern time, but he does the classic, early 1900s look really well, which when he went back in time with Gwen, during that World War II episode when he met the real Jack.
Yep.
Like he just blended in right away. Yeah.
He does. He has that look where you're right, where he can go back and forth between modern and old time, and it just works.
It's seamless, and I freaking love that. And yes, he did look good, and he was needed in that moment. I loved how him traveling back in time, even though he forward in time, was a stowaway. What would they have done without him?
Exactly.
He is the key, as well as everyone else is the key to everything. It's not just one person, and the plan falls apart.
Everybody needed to be there for a specific reason.
So,
and for Jack, it was to go into a room that anyone else would die in.
Yeah. Captain Jack can strip any time for me.
Hey, I know. I was watching that and I was like, Xray Girl's gonna love this part.
Yes, I did. I kid you not. When I was just watching, I was like, oh my God, I'm melting.
You're like, is it getting hot in here? Turn the air
Where's
down.
my door closed? Like, what the heck? Thought it was like 66 degrees Fahrenheit in this room.
Why does it feel 90?
I'm sweating a lot right now.
Maybe I need to also strip.
God. And the master, by the way, I thought this was quite interesting. When he regenerated into a younger self, we saw Eccleston, when he regenerated, he was bedridden for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the master, done and moving. I thought that was so interesting. So I wonder if there is a difference because of age, time, experience. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out. Not sure. You're keeping your mouth shut, so I'm going to continue talking. Jason Webster from 5 Australia says, question for Xray and Zia. What is your favorite guilty pleasure film or series? Ooh. Right now, for me, Jersey Shore Family Vacation.
Okay. All right.
Right now. But I usually like The Challenge, or for shows or movies, Blades of Glory. Don't know why I really like that movie. So
Nice.
stupid, but it's great. What about you?
Oh God, for a show, I don't watch a lot of reality TV at all, unless it's like cooking shows. For some reason, I really like Chopped. I love Chopped, stuff like that. But it's not really a guilty pleasure. I just like it. But there's this one British show called there's a bunch of different versions of it, but the British one is my favorite. And it's called First Dates, I think. And it was on, I actually don't know if it's still on HBO or Max, whatever it's called now. But that show, for some reason, I binge watched all of it. I absolutely loved it. I can't tell you why I liked it so much, but it was a good, I don't know if it's good reality TV, but it was such a guilty pleasure for me.
As long as you like it, that's perfect, right?
Loved it.
Loved it.
I didn't talk about it though. I just watched it and kept it to myself.
What about you guys in the chat? What shows or TV show or TV
or was it called
and
Blind
movies
Date?
you like?
It might have been called Blind Date.
Thank you, Jason Webster, for that super chat. There was one line that I really, 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 really liked, and I thought that was like a great way to kind of bring in like I guess an ist or a phobe type of thing that didn't seem derogatory. They were talking, let's see, the professor and him were talking with Jack. Oh, wait, here. Where's it? TARDIS tries to shake him off. Oh, yeah, the TARDIS and the doctor not liking Jack. And then he's like, you mean you are prejudiced? And I thought, oh my God, what a great line. Because I think there was that like banter between them. Like it's friendly, but yeah, sure, he has that aversion towards Jack. But still.
But it doesn't mean he dislikes him.
Yeah. I thought that was like a nice way to bring some sort of ist into the conversation when it's not like the worst thing in the world.
No, it was a casual sort of observation by Jack, I mean, that was like, so you haven't ever, so would it be Jackist?
I can't answer.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sure. We'll go with that. It's Jackist.
It's Jackist.
Oh no. I'm sorry. I'm laughing too hard at this. Yep. Captain Jack was such a magnificent tart. Absolutely.
He was. I loved how he hit on 3 people. He hit on Martha as soon as he saw her. He hit on that guy in the one of the
space, the station.
In the space station, yeah, one of those guys. And then he hit on Chantho also.
Like he's such a which we never really got to see that side of him intensely in Torchwood. We got the more serious version. So I think maybe it's the doctor bringing out the OG Jack before he had to go serious with his job.
Yeah, it's like
and be a leader.
he became a leader, exactly, and he was like, I got to keep it in my pants, and he actually does a really good job. But when
For the
he's,
most part.
for the most part, besides Yanto, but it's, Yanto wanted it, but
Yes.
he's definitely pretty good about, not being overly sexual. But it seems like it's almost like when he's with the doctor, he's on vacation, and it sort of comes out.
Yes. I freaking love it. I love that he was a little garden tool while he's on his little vacation.
A little garden tool.
And that's why I literally say he is the one person I will call pansexual, because he has liked anything and everything that moves, including made out with the doctor at one point. Thought that was wild. Did he make out with the Eccleston version?
Right? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the
before Rose even got to.
Exactly. Oh my God, poor Rose. She got Jack's sloppy seconds.
Yup. She never got to kiss the doctor ever. Well, as herself.
Yeah.
So, unrequited love. And whereas Jack gets to spread his seed everywhere.
He just goes for it. Good for him.
Arudai has gifted 5 Xray Girl memberships to the channel. Thank you, Arudai. Sweet. I love that. Thank you, Arudai, and everyone who got a membership. Please thank him as well. Thank you, Arudai. You're awesome. I love the nerds that are around here. We get to chat about weird stuff like this, and it's so good. He kissed. They didn't make out, right?
Yeah, they did just kiss. You're right.
It wasn't like not like how freaking Jack made out with Jack. Wait, was it Jack make out with Jack?
Yeah, Jack and Jack.
Yeah,
Jack
and then
Jack.
and then Jack with Yanto. Wasn't ready for that, to be honest. I didn't think Yanto was swinging that way, but hey, if Jack's around, you're defenseless.
If Jack's around, Yanto goes down. Sorry. That was really terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to everyone.
What a good boy.
Good egg.
You always want a boyfriend that does that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, Jack made out with Jack, okay?
He did. Jack and Jack.
Up. That was Jack squared. Jacked up. Oh, whoa. Okay, never mind. I'm done. Oh God. I see next episode they have to figure out how to get back in time, and this is just me. They're gonna go using his watch to go back in time. That's my guess. Because the watch, he says, is burned out, but, the doctor finds a way. Oh, my God. I also really like that moment that the doctor and the professor were having, you're amazing, and you're amazing, and you would have been a genius. And that conversation didn't hit me. Like, they are on the same level.
Yep.
In terms of their mental capacity.
Yep.
And that just astounding. And I guess it also confirms that the doctors can age in their body.
Yeah, they can. They can age in their body. They absolutely age. It's just usually something gets them to regenerate before
they get to that point.
Yeah, because they live dangerous. Well, at least the doctor lives a semi-dangerous life, pretty dangerous life.
So, yeah, that's my thoughts. I know so you don't have to say anything.
I say nothing.
Just say nothing, and yeah, I like how this has all gotten us to this point, because what did I say? Torchwood is better than Doctor Who. If this episode goes the way that I think it does, and people did say this, I'll end up liking the Doctor Who more than Torchwood in the end. But that's also cheating, because you're bringing one of my favorite characters into Doctor Who. Okay? I'm just saying.
I knew there was a reason you like Torchwood better.
Shut up. Okay, you know what? He's a good leader. He's a little hard on his crew, but I think that's the type of personality you want leading you. Someone who puts down their foot and actually leads, not just curls into a little ball and crumbles under pressure. So
I agree. He is a very good leader.
So it's fun to see him in a secondary role, beefing up his chest against the doctor, like. Urgh.
Yeah, well, it's also fun because he gets to just kind of relax. Like you said, he doesn't have to be the leader. He just gets to be along for the ride, and he's there to help out. And kind of, it is sort of like a mini vacation for him.
Absolutely. Have I seen Buffy? No, I have not. I've seen episodes, but not all of it in a row. Let me just clarify that, because that could have been misconstrued. So I want to see it all in a row and with Angel at some point, and that's something we're thinking of doing after this. So hopefully we do that one day. But overall, which episode did you like more?
Oh, for me, Blink. Look,
Me too.
Utopia is great. Blink is it's an almost perfect episode.
Almost perfect. Yep. So I think it's just, I wanted more from Utopia, but that's episode 2 and 3. So
I was going to say, yeah, Utopia is the beginning of a 3-parter. So it's tough to judge it on its own.
Yeah.
But Blink is just such a good episode. I forgot how much I loved it until I watched it again. And I was like, oh my God, it's so fucking good. Everything just works so perfectly together.
Yeah. And I can't wait for Matt Smith to be the doctor. So one day. All right. So Zia, where can people find you?
You guys can find me at Zealand. It's Zealand everywhere. XIALAND. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Tuesday on my channel on YouTube at youtube.com/Zealand. It's time for an episode of Zia next Tuesday at 8 p.m. On Tuesdays. Yeah.
Sweet. Next week, we are taking a week off because I'm going to be in Vegas, but we'll be back the week after, April 15th, where we will do part 2 and 3 of this episode. I'm going to send you guys over to Film Threat, which I'm going to run over after for Godzilla X Kong. So we'll see you over there. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Zia, for having these conversations with me, because I freaking love Doctor Who.
I love it so much.
Yes. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.